This is the agricultural approach to understanding by design. Let's think about the 3 stages. Stage 1, identifying desired results. This encompasses the big idea or learning outcome. I have 2 main goals. There's a transfer goal and a meaning goal. These goals will be elaborated on later in the discussion. These goals promote my overarching essential question. What benefit or drawback is there in the production of agriculture? In what ways do the current practices in agriculture impact society? And how will those impacts shape the future of the world? My goal for this unit is to have my students understand the role of agriculture in the California economy and apply that to the development of a project that tackles a larger issue that agriculture is facing within California's economy. Both goals and the overarching essential question contribute to my topical essential question, my unit question. My essential question is, what is the role of agriculture in the California economy? From here, we can open up the discussion. Do you play a role in it? California's economy? In agriculture? How would you know if you did? Does it affect others the same way as you? How does it affect society? Why is agriculture important to the California economy? After the desired results are identified, we can proceed to step 2. Next stage. Stage 2. Identifying evidence. Evidence must be reliable, sufficient, and valid. I will need to take into account more than one measure of assessment. Evidence is shown through assessment. I will scaffold my assessment by using the assessment continuum. Informal checks for understanding will be through think-alouds and discussion. I will provide quizzes to promote the foundation of a solid second and third tier academic vocabulary. This will help my students articulate their thoughts for their projects. Academic prompt. I will provide an academic prompt for my student to read and respond to. The open-ended question will be based on real-life situations, such as the drought. What are the effects of the drought in California? If this issue continues, what will happen to California environmentally, socially, economically? Provide examples of the current state of the drought, future state of the drought, and measures to help restore what has been lost because of the drought. The response can be in essay form or through graphic organizer. All sources must be cited. And lastly, a performance task. This will be the development of a project that tackles a larger issue that agriculture is facing within the California economy. The solution to the drought. Students will develop a three-part project. They must develop either infographic flyer or short video clips to depict the current state of the drought, what the drought will do if it continues, and provide solutions. Their target audience could be children, adolescents, or adults. The students will turn in one poster or video clip at a time. Feedback will be given for each section. The students will have time to rehearse and practice for the overall presentation that embodies their project. They will also be allowed to refine their project up until the date of the presentation. The students will then turn in a self-assessment after their presentation. In addition, the students will also turn in a reflection about how their perspective has changed from the beginning of the unit to the end of the unit. If the collected evidence and performance tasks supports the big idea, then the shift to stage 3 is a go. Stage 3. Stage 3, the action plan. The action plan is for learning activities and lessons. Number 1, put a giant cotton ball on the board and a small bag of almonds on every desk. Begin with the entry question. What was the cost of both of these individual items? To hook the students into considering what the cost of food and fiber is in their lives. Two, introduction to the essential question. What is the role of agriculture in the California economy? And discuss the performance task, the solution for the drought. Number 3, note. Key academic vocabulary, Tier 2 and 3, is introduced as needed by learning activities and performances. They read sources from USDA and CDFA to support the tasks and activities. As an ongoing activity, students keep a journal of facts that they feel are important, factors of agriculture. They write up a daily response of how those factors are or could affect the future. 4. Present concept attainment on sectors of agriculture. Then have students practice categorizing both raw and value-added commodities into those sectors. 5. Introduce imports and export commodities and have the students identify why some commodities are better or worse for exports and imports. 6. Give a quiz on the sectors of USDA and CDFA. True, false, and multiple choice. Give quiz on the top commodities in California. Matching. Give quiz on impacts of exports and imports and how it affects agriculture in California. 7. Review and discuss how California agriculture affects their quality of life. Analyze and discuss the interrelationship of California agriculture and society at the local, state, national, and international level. 8. Working in cooperative groups, students analyze current challenges that California agriculture faces. Immigration reform, California labor laws, labor costs, invasive pest issues, air quality, regulation, fees, costs, Food Safety Modernization Act. The students make recommendations to solve these issues. Teachers observe and provide resource as needed as they work. 9. Have groups share their analysis and discuss the value of each analysis as a class. Note, teacher collects and reviews the analysis to look for misunderstandings needing instructional attention. 10. Each student takes home the prompt. Number 11. Students exchange prompts with members of their group for a peer assessment based on criteria lists. Allow students to make revisions based on feedback. 12. Show and discuss the DVD Botany of Desire. Discuss the impacts of domesticated plants within society. Students listen to and question a guest speaker, a member of the State Water Resource Control Board, about the water crisis in California and how it's affecting the state's economy. 14. Students begin a response to part 1 of the solution for the drought. The student must develop either an infographic flyer or a short video clip to depict the current state of the drought. Their target audience could be children, adolescents, or adults. These are collected and graded by the teacher. 15. Students work independently to develop the part 2 and part 3 of solution for the drought. The student must develop either an infographic flyer or short video clips to depict the future of the drought and what it will do if it continues and provide solutions. Their target audience could be children, adolescents, or adults. Feedback will be given for each section. The students will then have time to rehearse and practice for the overall presentation that embodies their project. They will also be allowed to refine their projects up until the date of the presentation. The students will then turn in a self-assessment after the presentation. 16. The conclusion of the unit. At the conclusion of the unit, students review their journal and turn in a reflection about how their perspective of agriculture and its impacts on the California economy has changed. Self-assess their awareness. Have they noticed changes, improvements, decline? Do they have a noticeable change in how they utilize natural resources? 17. A portion of the student's solution for the drought, part 1, 2, or 3, flyer or video clip, is saved for open house parent-teacher meeting. The videos will be on a loop being projected on the whiteboard and the flyers will be hung around the room. This gives the parents the opportunity to see their child's accomplishment. And 18. Conclude the unit with student self-evaluation regarding their personal effect on the drought. Have each student develop a personal action plan for his or her innovative accountability goal. This holds the student responsible for his or her consumption of natural resources and the effects it will have. On agriculture in California if they take those measures. Next, we need to ask, does the action plan support the desired outcome? Does it incorporate a variety of evidence? Is there a self and peer assessment? Let's go to the goal. Goal, meaningful learning. This is our end result. Meaning goal. I want the students to leave here having inferred and realizing that now and in the future that the role of agriculture in the California economy is based on resiliency. 2. The compromise is long, diverse, and ever-changing. There are challenges that we must fight now, and there are changes that we will always be fighting as the supply tries to meet the demand of a growing society. And lastly, my transfer goal. I want students to leave here being able to transfer their understanding on their own to address current and future situations, such as design a plan for the water supply crisis in California. 2. Design a plan to combat the invasive pest issues of California. Or 3. Support political candidates who understand the need for immigration reform. I'm not teaching students. I'm facilitating the needs of young leaders and providing them opportunities for understanding.